What's up, my Madden Rebuild Warriors? My name is David, and this is Franchise Revival. Welcome back to the channel. We are here to talk about the best 4-3 defensive playbook in all of Madden 25 Quick Sim. Yes, only one that deserves to be covered in this video because it stands out far and away from the rest of the 4-3 playbooks. Now, is it the best Quick Sim playbook in Madden 25? That is a question for another day because if you saw our other video with 3-4, I think the Steelers is really good. But if Steelers and Bills are 1A, 1B, I'm not sure which one's better than the other. That's up to you. That's preference. But if you like the best 4-3, this is it. And I've tried to find another defense that could rival this, and there is just no other defense. I thought there was months ago. Months ago, if you followed me, you saw me put out a video with my top 3 defenses, and number one's not even on the list anymore. It's totally nerfed or whatever they did with their updates at Madden and EA. But this is the best playbook. So without further ado, let's get into it. And don't go anywhere because a lot of you already know it. And if you don't worry, we got you covered. But I'm not just going to make a video telling you what the best playbook is and that's it. Because I believe that the schemes to this playbook matter. Certain playbooks make this playbook, or certain schemes make this playbook play better and play differently. And some of you who have watched a lot of my videos and followed me for a long time are probably screaming at your phone or your iPad or your TV or whatever you're watching this on and going, what the hell are you talking about? You don't believe in schemes. All the time you've mentioned in your videos or replied to messages that have asked what the scheme is. I'm coming around to schemes matter, especially on defense, and I'll get into that in a minute. So let's get into it. It's time to reveal the best 4-3 quick sim playbook in Madden 25. If you guessed the Buffalo Bills as the best 4-3 defensive quick sim playbook in Madden 25, you are correct. Many of you have known this already, but there's a lot of people who don't, and there's a lot of people seeing this video for the first time that have no idea. Some people just got the game or getting back into Madden after years, and it is rebuild season. Everyone's tired of their team being terrible. A lot of people have updated their drafts and want to start rebuilding their team into the next dynasty. And this is one of the defenses that you have to use if you're going to use a 4-3. If you want to be the best of the best, if you want to use a playbook on offense that maybe isn't, one of the top 5, but still want to win games, or if you just want to dominate in complete fashion, use the best offense, the best defenses, it is the Buffalo Bills. I can't find another one. I can find some other good ones, and I will break them down in another video, but I cannot find anything that comes close to the domination that is the 4-3 Bills playbook. So let's get into some numbers here. This is what you can expect. A lot of greens in your defensive rankings, a lot of sacks, a lot of interceptions. You usually don't see interceptions go below 15. I kind of use 15 interceptions for a team as a mark. You can, if you're not leading the team and putting up 40 to 50 sacks, you're darn near close. And I use this with the Washington Redskins because the Washington Redskins are a good team in real life, but they don't do so good in the simulation. So when you see them start making the playoffs on a consistent basis, it's the defense that's getting them there, and the Bills defense gets them to the playoffs almost every time. And you'll see a player like Frankie Louvu lead and be in the lead, near the lead for sacks. I mean, he's not really, someone that you could think of being a sack kind of guy, but they have him in that pass rush position. And then a team like the San Francisco 49ers, I mean, in a lot of my rebuilds, they don't do so well, and Bosa's like never anywhere near the sack lead. But look at this. He is leading the league in sacks, and I've really seen some high spikes with him. The highest I saw in simulations were 27.5. So, really gaudy numbers with him. Really elevated a team like the 49ers. So there is no better playbook to elevate a team like the Commanders or turn back the clock for a team like the 49ers, who, like I said, they have their moments in simulation, but really, Bosa's kind of like been dead in a lot of my sims because I don't think the 49ers playbook is that good. All right, so let's get into the schemes to use with this playbook. First is the base 4-3. That's what I believe the game is set to with the Bills if you start a franchise, and they're an 86% scheme fit. Some of this is preference of how you want to build your players, but if you see that they have a power rush, DN, a speed rusher, run stopper, tackles, you can follow that. They have man, corner, zone, and you can build to that if you would like. You're not going to have the highest of numbers. Sometimes you will. Sometimes there'll be spikes in your sacks. You'll definitely have good rankings. You'll be in the greens, where you rank against points and stopping the run and stopping the pass. But consistently, sack numbers aren't the best in the base 4-3. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's when in doubt, use the base 4-3. And you can build your players to that scheme. There's nothing wrong with it, but I think the other next two are a little bit better. Next, we have Tampa 2, another 86% scheme fit for the Bills. Definitely a different way to build your team. You have a power rush D end, a speed rusher, and a power rush D tackles. And then you have all patch coverage linebackers and all zone coverage defenders. So if you want to build your team that way, it kind of makes it easy to mix and match your players, but you can use this scheme for sure. I've used Tampa 2 months ago when I was really into Packers playbook, and it worked fine. I won games, and building your linebackers and pass coverage, really good against the pass. And you just kind of have to stay true to building zone corners. But sometimes those zone corners are a little bit easier to find in the Madden drafts. Something I noticed using the Tampa 2 is that your team won't finish in the green as consistently as you will in the base 4-3, but sacks I've seen higher consistently, especially when it comes to the left and right end, especially Greg Rousseau, that spot right there. He definitely gets a lot more sacks than he does in the base 4-3. So that's something to consider. It's kind of your preference here, but I think Tampa 2 can be a little bit better. And also, like I've said a couple times now, depends how you want to build your team to that scheme. And then last, we have the 4-3 quarters. The meta used to be in last Madden, Bill's playbook, 4-3 quarters. Defend the deep ball, and you give up no points. And as you can see, this team probably should be in a quarters 4-3 and not a base 4-3 because it's a 95% scheme fit. Now maybe something happened, and it just, when you start a CFM, it makes it random and changes it around. But this team's a much better team in quarters 4-3. You have run stopper, speed rusher, power rusher, run stopper, outside linebacker, pass coverage, right outside linebacker, middle linebacker, zone. So it's almost very similar to the cover 2. It's like a mix between the cover 2 and the base 4-3, I guess you could say. Now, one of the reasons why I think this one's interesting is sack numbers, and especially who it benefits the most. We'll get down to a second. So, look, you can see here, number 1 in points, number 1 against pass yards. That's what it's designed to do. Keep the ball in front of them. Just as good in sacks, but I've seen the defensive tackle, for whatever reason, increase its production in sacks. So, I don't know what it is, but, in case you want to spread out your sacks numbers a little bit, maybe think about the quarters. Also, I think just a better overall style of defense. Quarters 4-3. Your secondary playing like a Matt's coverage. Quarters, keep the ball in front of you, play deep, and give up field goals in the red zone, not touchdowns. So there you have it. That is the best 4-3 defensive playbook and the schemes that I personally found that I think worked the best. I didn't think the other ones worked very good, which was cover 3 and 4-6. Those two schemes were detrimental to the playbook, the Buffalo Bills. So there you go. Maybe not a shocker to most of you. Hope maybe you got something out of what schemes to use. Um, let me know. Tell me, like I say all the time, I love to hear your rebuild stories. Take the Rams and go grab the Bills defense and tell me about your dominating dynasty stories and how good your defense is, and are you leading the league in sacks? Do you have some guy that you drafted or traded for that's now flirting with 30 sack seasons and setting all kinds of records? In this Broncos rebuild we just did, Greg Rousseau was the all-time leader in sacks, and one of the reasons why the Bills are so good to do the test with for 4-3 is because they have no abilities on their team. And I'm sure some of you are rolling your eyes because of my stance on abilities, whether they're good or not. I still don't know. They're good. They matter until they don't matter. They matter until you have them, and then you have the wrong ones. You're screwed. That's another video for another day. Be on the lookout because I am going to make a video about the other 4-3 playbooks that I like, but they deserve their own video. They need their own schemes broke down and everything like that. So that is a wrap. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for 3 more defensive 4-3 quick sim playbooks to use.